Hi guys, my name is Amy. Let's get zoned in today with a yin practice that's all about the hips, especially the IT bands. So first thing we're going to start with is just a comfortable cross-legged position. Let's start off with the left leg in front. So if you naturally sit cross-legged with the right foot in front, go ahead, swap it out, scooch that right foot back, left foot comes right in front here. If you need to, you can sit onto an elevated surface like a bolster or a block or a blanket if that helps. But once you find your comfy seat, let's let the hands rest down onto the knees or thighs. Shoulders just softening down and back from the ears, and you can either close your eyes, just soften your gaze down the tip of your nose. And so if you're not used to sitting with the left leg in front, it may feel kind of awkward. That is natural. That's okay. Don't worry. Try to soften into your seat as much as you're able. And begin to just come into the space that you're in, noticing what your environment is like, what kind of sounds are in your environment, letting everything be as it is. And starting to slow down the breath, relaxing the muscles along the face. If you'd like to, you can bring your hands together to heart center, lightly bow the chin, and start your practice today with a opening prayer or an intention. Once you feel settled in your intention, we're going to release the hands down in front of us. Start to walk the hands forward here, tilting from the pelvis. Now you may find that staying with the arms straight feels ideal. You may find it natural or comfortable to drop on down to the forearms. You may find that it feels good to drop all the way down to the forehead. Just find what feels right for you. Make sure that there is an element of comfort to the posture. Enough comfort that you can keep the muscles relaxed, that you can keep the breath steady. But perhaps also feeling this light little bit of discomfort. You're feeling this bit of stretch, perhaps happening around the hips or the low back area. That's all this practice is, just finding this fun little balance between comfort and discomfort, never pain. And so we just take these steady inhales and steady exhales. Everything we do in this specific practice just moves slow. Everything's gentle. Everything is patient. You may find that the more you let go, the more you relax, the easier you just soften into your own tissue. Let the body unwind in its own good time. We'll just take about 5 more breaths here in this variation, maintaining a sense of softness down through the hips and thighs. Then we'll stay nice and low as we start to walk our hands over towards the right knee. So as you walk your hands over to the right, the heart just kind of sinks down and in towards the right knee. Notice how this feels all along the left side lower back, outer line of the left glute, all the way down through the left thigh. You can again keep the arms straight or maybe resting on the forearms feels comfortable. We'll just stay for about 10 deep breaths. If this is too much, just go right back to that center space. No big deal. And then finishing off that last deep exhale. As you inhale, walk your way back to center, and then inhale, just walk it all the way right back up. And take a moment there. Notice that little unwind of the spine. And then we're just going to trade off legs. So that left leg that's in front, we're going to scooch it behind. Right leg now is sitting in front. So this may feel more comfortable and more natural, or slightly more uncomfortable for you to sit with the right leg in front. Take a moment, sit as you are, and just feel it out. Perhaps finding that fascination of how different the legs or how different the seat can feel just by a few inches different of the position of the leg. And then once the legs have settled into this new position, we're going to again walk it forward. So let's walk the hands forward. You may find that you can move a little further in or not quite as far this time on this side. That's okay. Just find your sweet spot where you find that level of comfort and discomfort coming together. We'll stay here for about 15 or 20 breaths. Noticing if the hips or the thighs are tensing up in response to kind of this new level of stretch. If so, it's okay. Just remind your hips and thighs to relax as much as you're able. Again, as time passes, you may feel the call to sink just a little bit deeper in. Feel free to follow that, just mindful of any signals you might be getting from the knees, from the hips, or from the low back. Anything that feels like a pain sensation immediately, but gently back out. And again, staying nice and low, let's start to walk ourselves over to the left this time. So as the hands walk over the left, the heart starts to lean down and in towards the left knee. Again, it might feel a little bit different on this side. That's a-okay. Just try to relax down through the hips and thighs. Soften the shoulders and face. Maybe stay on the hands with the arms straight, or maybe it feels okay to drop to the forearm. Notice any response you might be getting through the entire right side, low back, right hip, right thigh. Just staying for 10 breaths, but remember, if it's too intense, let it go. Just walk yourself back to center if you need to. Nice and slow, we're going to walk our way back to center. And then push the ground gently away as we stack the shoulders right back over the hips and the ears right back over the shoulders. Again, just noticing that little unwind of the spine and your response to the body from coming out of the pose. Common to feel this little flush of energy through the body. So just connect with all these fascinating, subtle sensations. Let's offer a little bit of movement to the legs. So we're going to just release the feet right out in front of us. You can lean the hands back, feet about hip distance, maybe even a little bit wider here. We're going to let the knees just windshield wiper side to side, left and right, left and right. And coming right back up to center, extend the legs straight out. And we'll come into a shoelace or a half shoelace, just completely depending on you. Now we're going to bend the left knee in. So starting off with the left foot, cross the left foot up and over the right thigh. from here. You're going to slide the left foot. So you'll come to the top of the foot on the mat, slide the left foot so it stacks right on the outside of the right hip. So you can look down and just see the entire left foot over on the right side. So this might feel ideal for you. You can keep the right leg straight, especially if you want to work on a little bit of extra hamstring flexibility as well. If it is comfortable with your hips, and especially if it is comfortable with your knees, you can lean back and then scooch the right foot back so that the right foot lands on the outside of the left hip. So left foot's over here on the right, right foot's over here on the left. The knees are attempting to stack on top of one another, attempting to. Okay, if they don't, as long as there's no pain in the knees, you're doing all right. So let's just hold on to that top knee for right now. Relax the shoulders down. Maybe close the eyes. Notice this new sensation happening down through the hips and thighs. Please listen to your body. If that bottom knee is experiencing any pain whatsoever, just extend the leg straight back out. We're not here to push through pain. You're here to take care of yourself. Do just that. If this is still just too intense, remember you can always sit on an elevated surface, sitting on a block or a blanket or a pillow. Very beneficial to help kind of just loosen up really tight hips here. You may find this is enough. Great, beautiful. Stay here, breathe, enjoy just the process of relaxing the hips as much as possible. If you want to, though, and if the body says okay, we're going to, again, just kind of fold forward, walk the hands forward, let the heart start to rest over the knee. You're going to start to hear that left hip and thigh talk to you a little bit more. Listen to what it has to say. Notice if it tries to tense up on you. We're only going to be here for 10 breaths, so not too terribly long. One more inhale. And taking a final exhale, maybe folding in just a little bit more. And then using your next inhale, rise all the way back up if you're folded forward. Now we're going to use our hands to assist our legs. You can use your hands, lift that left leg up and nice and gently slide it out. If the right leg is folded up and under, let's release that out as well. Same thing that we just did, feet at hip distance or a little bit wider, hands back, and just windshield wiper the knees side to side. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So extending the feet straight out, extend the right knee in. Right foot crosses over the left thigh. So then slide the right foot over on the outside of the left hip where it was before, but now it's the top leg, of course. Left leg may need to stay straight. You can do this whole thing, even the fold, with the bottom leg straight. It's no big deal. If the knee agrees with it, if the left hip agrees with it, you can lean back, give yourself a little space to help scooch that left foot up and under and over on the opposite side. Feel free to look down, check out your feet. You can see your feet on either side of your hip. Our first 10 breaths are just going to be sitting up nice and tall. We're not in any rush to do anything else. So right now, we want to just let our hips and our thighs get used to sitting here in this specific position. And just like we talked about with our Sukhasana, our easy seated pose, one side might feel slightly different than the other. We are all built that way. We are all asymmetrical. So just let your right side or your left side be as it needs to be. Feel free to stay seated tall, or if and when you're ready, maybe we start to walk the hands forward and come into a fold, letting the heart just relax over the knee. If this is very uncomfortable, notice how your body responds to discomfort. Are you tensing up the shoulders or tensing up the face or tensing up the hips and thighs? Let everything soften in its own good time. Relax your body. Remind yourself that you're safe. You're in control of how far or how deep you go here. Just take it breath by breath. We only have about 5 more breaths left. And taking your final deep exhale, maybe folding in just the tiniest bit more. Let's use our next inhale to push the ground away and walk our way right back up. Take your time, no rush. Once you get seated tall, you're going to use our hands to again to assist our legs. So gently release that right leg out. Gently release the left leg out. Same thing, windshield wiper the knees side to side. Take it slow. Again, you may notice a little flush of energy down through the hips and thighs. That's natural. But let's come back to neutral. Now we're going to sweep the feet around and come to hands and knees. And so once you find yourself in a hands and knees position, grounded through the knuckles and fingers, we're going to work into just a little bit more movement through some cat-cow. So belly drops, heart draws gently forward. Exhale, lightly curl your way in. These are not too terribly active cat-cows. Just offering a little bit of movement. All the major joints in the spine. Coming back to a nice neutral spine. Moving into our pigeon pose, and we'll start off with the left leg. So we'll scooch that left leg forward. If you need to, you can come into a down dog first, that's fine. So as you find the left leg forward, the left foot is over on the right side of the mat. The left knee is somewhere behind the left wrist. Then tuck your right toe, start to walk your right leg back so that your hips can sink down and in. And untuck your right toe once you get settled in. Then you may find that your left hip is kind of hovering in space here. That may feel super uncomfortable. A blanket, a pillow, or if you have one, a block underneath that left hip will make this much more comfortable. As you get settled in, whatever variation of the pose suits you, feel free to drop on down to the forearms, maybe drop down to the forehead, and we'll spend quite a few minutes here, so just take your time. If you're settled where you are, you feel good where you are, fantastic. Just stay there, breathe, enjoy it. If you're experiencing any pain in the knee or in the ankle or in the low back, I'm going to offer a different variation. So if you need this different variation, all right, sometimes I take it just because my hips are a little upset with me on a certain day. You're going to roll around and lie down onto the back. Cross your left ankle over your right knee and feel your left thigh kind of just drop away from the chest here. This might be enough, right? It may feel good to lift the right foot, interlace the fingers back behind the right thigh so that the left shin tucks a little bit closer into the chest. And so this may be your sweet spot. Maybe lying forward is. Either way, see if you can just relax as much as possible with your pigeon pose. Maybe take notice if you're holding tension around the shoulders or the face. Sometimes if the lower body is experiencing discomfort, the upper body tends to take it on. Relax the face, relax the shoulders. They have no business adding any unnecessary energy to this space right now. Let yourself try to be as physically zen as possible. steady and mindful of the breath as possible. And perhaps with a bit of luck, the mind will follow. We only have about 10 more breaths here. Maybe you notice how you have evolved through the posture so far. And the last 2 breaths. So if you were taking the variation where you're lying down on your back, go ahead and just release your feet down and let your knees windshield wiper side to side like we've done before. If you're taking the variation where you're lying forward over your left leg, we're going to work our way up to our hands. Glide the left leg back, maybe finding hands and knees and working through a few cat-cows. Some of you may prefer to take a downward facing dog and wiggle it out from there, but that is completely up to you and your preferences. Beginning to move on to the right side. So if you're lying on your back, just cross your right ankle over your left knee, take the exact same version. If you're lying forward, we're going to bring that right shin forward, right knee landing right behind the right wrist. Right foot is somewhere over on the left side of the mat. And then tuck your left toe, walk your left leg back so that your hips can sink down into the floor. Same option here. Maybe you grab a block or a blanket and place it underneath that right hip for some extra support. Once you get settled into where you are, maybe you drop down to the forearms or the forehead. And we'll spend a few minutes here just trying our very best to just relax into the hips and thighs, staying relaxed in the shoulders and the face, watching each and every inhale and exhale as mindfully as we can. And just know that it's no problem whatsoever if the mind wanders. It's what the mind does. And part of our practice here is to train the mind to be a little bit more present with the passing moment. We put ourselves in these fascinating positions to almost use the discomfort to stay present. And sometimes the mind sees that discomfort, notices that the body is feeling that way, and immediately wants to distract itself. That is very common, so do not worry. The presence can be healing. Just sitting with the discomfort, reminding yourself that you're in control. That the discomfort will pass. We just take a breath with where we are. We'll take another 10 to 15 breaths here. Settle into your last deep exhale. On your next inhale, nice and gently press your way up. If you're on your back, just release both your feet down and again, work through those windshield wipers of the thighs. If you're lying forward, find yourself up on your hands. Let's scooch that back leg in, slide the right leg back, maybe moving again through a few cat-cows. Or again, perhaps the option to go to downward facing dog and pedal out the legs. If you're on your back, just stay there. The rest of us will join you shortly. If you're in down dog, come on back to the knees. If you're on hands and knees, let's sweep the feet around, have a seat. And then once you have a seat, we'll come to lying down onto the back. Once you come to lying down onto the back, just relax here for a moment. Notice how it feels to lie on the back. Some of us may have already just kind of been exploring this nice prone position, supine, I suppose. Let's wiggle the feet about as wide as the mat. Let the knees just fall in together, finding some softness, a nice gentle release around the sacrum. And then we're going to wiggle the feet again back to hip distance. Let's slide the left leg out as we hug the right knee in. Interlace the fingers around the base of the right knee. You can feel the right thigh kind of drop out to the right a little bit as you tuck the knee a little bit closer into the shoulder, and just holding here for about 3 deep breaths. Maybe allowing a couple belly breaths. So as you inhale, swell the belly into the right thigh. Exhale, belly button just relaxes down into the spine, not pushes into the spine, just relaxes. Again, inhale, swell the belly into the right thigh. Exhale, belly button just softens into the spine. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Moving into a twist, let's let the left hand cross over the right thigh. Right knee goes up and over. Maybe the right hand draws away from the right shoulder, tilting the gaze over to the right hand if that feels okay with the neck. And we'll just take about 10 breaths. And taking your last deep exhale, as you inhale, bring your head and hips and right knee back to center. We're going to extend that right leg straight out and then hug the left knee into the chest. And interlace the fingers around the base of the left knee. Left thigh travels a little bit to the outer edge of the rib cage, and we can tuck that left knee into the shoulder just a bit more. As you hang out here, just a couple belly breaths. Inhale, swell the belly into the left thigh. And the exhale, belly button drops. You can continue that for a few more rounds. The whole purpose of doing this is just to stimulate the ascending colon when we did it on the right side and the descending colon now that we're doing it on the left side, just helping our digestive system move a little more smoothly. Taking the twist in the opposite side, the right hand crosses over the left thigh. Left knee travels slowly but surely over to the right. Left hand drops away from the left shoulder. Maybe we look over the left hand and take a few deep breaths. Last deep exhale here. As you inhale, head and hips and left knee come back to center. Nice and easy. Just extend that left leg out straight. And then coming into our final rest, let the feet just fall away from one another. Maybe let the hands rest down on either side of you. Feel free if you're in your own space. Maybe you want to find a blanket and cover yourself with a blanket for warmth. Turn the lights off in your room. Just make sure you are as cozy and comfortable as possible. Soften along the eyebrows and the jawline. Notice any new sensations you may be experiencing along the spine, hips, or thighs. And just let these passing moments simply be as they are. If you feel as though you need a little extra rest today, continue to just rest. Lie here, relax. If and when you're ready to find some movement again, we're going to gently wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe hug the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the legs. Feel free to rock side to side and massage the low back. It may feel best for you to rock straight up, or you can roll to one side and rest there for a moment. And then gently press your way up to a comfortable seat. And once you find that comfy seat, bring our hands together to heart center, sending a closing gratitude or closing prayer. Thank you all so much for showing up to take care of yourselves today. As always, go have a fabulous day, and I'll see you next time.